Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer and I am the artist and creative behind Delirium Boutique. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I thought today I would take the time to show you guys some of my work and introduce myself as an artist and make it like an art and greet type of video. So again, this is my first YouTube video. I'm really excited to be here. I am, if you couldn't tell, creating an eyeball, because who wouldn't want to create eyeballs? No, I just create some random things from time to time. Anyway, I am using a bunch of different media to create this piece. The background is acrylic ink. I used translucent burnt umber and this bright orange in the background. And I'm currently working with this gouache to make the eye come to life. I did a little sketch on top of the dried background just so I know where to paint. It was a very light sketch. I didn't want the graphite to muddy up any of my paint, so I usually make my sketches relatively light. But I am working with this acrylic ink and this gouache. My gouache, as you can see, is a little bit old, but you just spray it with a little water and it'll be good as new, right as rain. As you can see, I am continuing to outline and trying to lighten up by layering with the gouache paint. So it did take a little bit of layers for it to really start to cover some of the background. I love gouache layering. I think it looks so cool, creates a nice little texture. I'm using this hot press watercolor paper by Arches in this fun little size here. It's a nice little size because if you don't want to commit to doing something too big, this is like a nice little happy medium. It's 5.9 inches by 11.8 inches. I know they do odd kinds of sizing here in the Arches, but it's really, I love their paper. You could honestly use any paper, but I really do love this paper that I had invested in. As far as media goes in general for the stuff that I use, I really do use acrylic paint from time to time. I use a lot of gouache. I use watercolor, acrylic inks. I also use charcoal, colored pencil. I have only really worked in oil like once or twice, but I think that's kind of like a silent goal for me to really try it again. I started off very young with just drawing. Oh my gosh, I was totally into anime. I still am an anime girl at heart, don't get me wrong. I just haven't created anime characters in years, but I started with that, moved to charcoal, spent some time with that, and eventually, I would say about maybe 10 years ago, I branched out into acrylic paint, which was a surprise for me because I really stayed away from the stuff for so long. But it actually kind of made sense after me keeping with it for a while. So I tried that. Then I branched out into watercolor. Then I branched out into gouache. And that's kind of where I've been, mixing some of the media and stuff like that. Every now and then I'll go back to acrylic or I'll stop and just do a drawing. But more recently, I've been doing a lot of mixed media, incorporating the colored pencil with the gouache and acrylic inks. That's kind of where I love to play around with on the hot press paper. Here you can see I am using the Prisma Colored Pencils to kind of really go in and fine tune some of the details. This by far is one of my favorite parts of the creative process because things start to look like they're coming together. I mean, in the beginning, when you're putting that gouache down on top of that acrylic ink, you're like, oh my gosh, what is going on? It kind of looks a little lost, but this part of the process, I feel a little better. I really do. And by the end, the final touches, oh, that's such a great feeling as well. But yes, I'm using those colored pencils to really hone in and define this eyeball. I figured I would take a little bit more time now to talk about my art style. Well, I feel like I kind of have like a blend of different things going on in my art, you could say. I do love nature, so There are a lot of whimsical elements as far as, you know, maybe it's animals, maybe it's insects. I have not done a lot of flower stuff. I want to do that. I've really been interested in creating work with flowers, but we'll see where I get when I play around with that as well. I also like some horror-esque stuff, so I have a ton of skull paintings. There have been many skulls in my artwork featured around there. I also love white butterflies. I don't know why. I was painting a lot of white butterflies for a while. Feel like our art goes in different themes and phases. So maybe you guys, if you're artists out there, can relate to that. I feel like my style can be ever changing, but I also find that most of the time I kind of err on the side of this whimsical and this horror type of vibe within my artwork. So some of the themes that come up with that are the skulls and stuff like that. So you might see that a lot. I also like to draw characters from my shows or TV or books. I'm very inspired by books. I love to read. I love to listen to audiobooks. So I feel like I'm very inspired by the fantasy world. And, you know, it sometimes is captured or seen in my artwork as well. Here you can see I'm almost done with the eye. I'm gonna move on in a little bit. You'll see I'll add some other final touches that come in with this chrome pen. So I'm going to talk about the chrome pen before it comes up. I was kind of debating whether to leave it like this. Like, I really was just like, I could just leave it with the eye with the little orange on it and a little brown in the background. But I really did want to try some other things in here. And I've done this filigree before in another piece and really liked it. So I kind of want to do it a bit more. I also have this chrome pen where I was like, I'm not sure, maybe I'll use a gold leaf, but the chrome pen, it kind of gives that effect without bringing out the mess, and I haven't used it very often, so I really wanted to give it another go. I've used the chrome pen in silver, and I also have it in gold, so I really wanted to try the gold today, see how it goes. I had used a stencil here for this part of it, where I'm putting this gold chrome pen, and you can see me pull out the stencil. I actually thought I messed it up, but I actually didn't. So I kind of paused here thinking, oh my God, I'm coloring the wrong parts. But my brain just wasn't seeing it right for some reason. So everything's fine. Don't worry. So I'm almost done with this here. Again, this is one of my second, maybe I don't know, it's the second 1.5 favorite part, where everything is almost done. You're putting your name on it, the last details, erasing, and it's done. And I really do like the shine from the chrome pen. I really do think it looks nice. I always feel like gold leaf you can't replace, but this pen comes pretty close to it, honestly. And I hope you guys really enjoyed watching my process. I can't wait to make more videos. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.